When heat hits, we all want to know the same thing. How do I cool down this room? Luckily for us, there are plenty of solutions, from some being super simple and inexpensive to others being more complex. As we continue to serve Los Angeles and surrounding areas, we gather knowledge on the best ways to cool our customers' homes, aside from installing an HVAC system. There are plenty of ways to beat the heat, and in this video we'll explore several tips and tricks to cool a room. These methods range from scrappy DIY solutions to those requiring some investment. We've ordered these based on complexity to ensure you don't overspend. Make sure to stick around to the end. Some of these tips may surprise you. Hey, if you're new to this channel, we post about all things plumbing, heating, and air, so consider subscribing as we're always posting new videos every week. Now, let's dive in. Tip number 1, open your windows. Sometimes there's beauty in simplicity, and opening your windows to cool a room is as simple as it gets. While it may be an obvious answer, opening your windows is the first step in gauging what level of cooling you need to invest in. Keeping windows open at night can also reduce the chances of heat getting trapped in your room and help air circulate throughout your home. If opening your windows doesn't help at all, then it's time to escalate to the next step. Keep blinds and curtains closed. Another option is to close your blinds and curtains. Keeping blinds and curtains drawn is an easy way to prevent excess heat from entering your home. There isn't much else to it, but the trade-off is less natural light during the day. If opening your windows and closing your curtains or blinds doesn't help, it's time to pick up some gear. Fans. While fans don't offer refrigeration cooling, they provide a wind chill factor that can help tone down the heat. Whether it's a ceiling fan or an oscillating fan, these are some of the best ways to cool a room without air conditioning. But blowing around hot air isn't going to help your cause out much. Instead, you'll need to find a cool spot in your home and position your fan towards a hot spot. For ceiling fans, make sure you have them set to spin counterclockwise. Having ceiling fans spin counterclockwise pushes air down and creates a cooling effect. If a fan doesn't cool enough on its own, you can try to modify them to create a slightly cooler wind chill, leading up to our next tip. The ice bucket method. While it may seem straight out of a cartoon, placing an ice pack or bucket of ice in front of a fan will help cool a room more than a fan alone. The downside is that your ice will likely melt within an hour if it's hot enough. If you give this method a shot and it fails you, then it's time to consider solutions that work continuously throughout the day. Limit oven use. If you're still having trouble cooling a room, try limiting your oven use. Ovens generate massive amounts of heat that can linger in your home for hours. Using the oven in the morning rather than at night is a good way to limit the amount of heat introduced to your home. While this isn't ideal for cooking dinner, using alternative cooking appliances can help ease the transition away from relying on the oven. Appliances that generally contribute less heat include crockpots, outdoor grills, and Instant Pots. Tip number 6, door and window insulation. Although it might stick out a bit visually, weather stripping works continuously throughout the day to keep a room cool. Weather stripping on gaps underneath doors and windows can reduce the heat entering a room. A benefit of weather stripping is that you can install it yourself easily. For the most part, you'll be able to stick weather stripping on a surface and forget about it. Like the following method, weather stripping is sold on Amazon or brick and mortar stores like Home Depot or Lowe's. Heat reducing window film. Window film is another solution that works around the clock to cool a room. Applying window film can help keep excessive heat out to keep interior temperatures cooler. You can find heat reducing window film at stores like Lowe's and Home Depot. The process may take time, but it is still much a DIY job. The downside to using this method is that window films can reduce the amount of light in your home, depending on the level of tinting. Switch to LED light bulbs. Incandescent light bulbs generate heat in the form of heat loss. While this heat might not be noticeable because of the bulb placement, it contributes to the level of warmth in any given room. For instance, incandescent light bulbs only convert 10% of their required energy into light, while the other 90% of the energy required is lost as heat. This leads us to the higher efficiency bulbs like LEDs. LED light bulbs boast less heat loss and higher energy efficiency, using 75% less energy and lasting 25% longer than incandescent light bulbs. Tip number 9, the humidifier. If you live in a humid climate, a dehumidifier will help with the overall feel of a room. Dehumidifiers do not actively cool, but they remove that nasty stickiness that signals the summer months in some regions. Getting rid of humidity in a room will help lessen the impact of heat. On the upside, dehumidifiers start around $100 but can reach up to $3,000 for more commercial-oriented options. Tip number 10. Window or room air conditioners. Finally, if heat-reducing window film is different from what you're looking for, window and room air conditioners are an ideal next step. While these cooling systems are more expensive than any of the other solutions so far, they deliver some of the best results when it comes to cooling a room. Window and room air conditioners come in different shapes and sizes. While offering varying degrees of cooling, you've probably seen window air conditioners hanging out of the windows of homes in your neighborhood. Room air conditioners can also be rolled around for easy relocation. Unfortunately, these units aren't exactly cheap, running anywhere from $100 to $1,500, but they do provide an unmatched cooling experience compared to previous methods. From here, the solutions get more sophisticated and will require professional installation, a greater upfront investment, and go beyond the scope of tips and tricks. Pricier and more sophisticated cooling systems include ductless mini splits, whole house fans, and HVAC systems. While the previous tips and tricks can help in a pinch, there's nothing as effective at cooling homes as various forms of air conditioning and whole house fans. We understand how important it is to be comfortable in your home. Since our in-person service is geographically limited, we are happy to bring you these tips and tricks wherever you live so that you can take the right steps to cool your home. Make sure to visit our Learning Center link below to learn more about heating and cooling from maintenance to types of air conditionings and beyond. And if you found any of the information in this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as we're always adding fresh content.